90%. I want you to just sit with that number for a second. 90%.
It's the kind of number that makes you want to just, I don't know, close your laptop and go live in the woods.
Seriously. We are talking about the rejection rate for resumes. And according to the research we're unpacking today, 90% of them gone. But here's the part that really got me. Most are rejected in under 5 seconds.
5 seconds. You spend hours, maybe days, agonizing over fonts, over margins, trying to decide if you should include that internship from 2015.
Yeah.
And it gets less time than a cat video before it's in the bin.
It feels so personal, right? When you get that rejection email or, even worse, just ghosted. It feels like they looked at your whole career and just said, nope.
But that's the thing. The source material we're looking at today argues it's usually not personal. It's not even about your talent, really.
Okay.
Right, and that's kind of the silver lining. The source says this huge rejection rate is mostly due to what it calls predictable technical reasons.
Silent errors, resume killers, things that candidates don't even realize they're doing.
Exactly. So the recruiter isn't rejecting you. They're rejecting the document because it failed a specific, almost mechanical test.
Signal isn't getting through the noise.
That's the perfect way to put it. They're scanning for a certain frequency, and if your resume isn't on that channel, you're just static.
Yeah. So our mission today is to debug that signal. We've got a list of 10 of these silent resume killers from our source. We're going to walk through them, understand the why behind them, and hopefully get you out of that 90% pile.
And we have to start with the gatekeepers, because before you talk to a human, you have to get past two very different guards, the robot and the human.
Okay, let's start with that first big hurdle, which the source calls identity. This brings us to killer number 1, the generic resume. Now, play devil's advocate for me. Job hunting is a slog. Why can't I just make one really good master resume and send it everywhere? It's just more efficient.
It feels efficient to you, the person writing it, but it creates a ton of friction for the person reading it, the whole spray and pray method.
Okay.
The problem is a generic resume is, by definition, vague. You're trying to be everything to everyone, so you end up being nothing to anyone.
So what does that actually look like on the page?
Sure. Let's say you're going for a product marketing manager role. It's pretty specific, but your headline just says marketing professional, and your summary talks about, seeking a challenging environment to utilize my diverse skills.
That sounds fine. I mean, it's not wrong.
It sounds fine,
Yeah.
but it's weak. It's passive. The recruiter has one problem. They need a product marketer. They glance at your resume, and in that 5-second window, they don't see the answer. They see a generalist.
And they have to do the mental work to connect the dots.
And they won't. They'll just skip to the next resume that screams, product marketing manager, right at the top. The fix is targeting. Your headline, your summary, your keywords, they all had to be aimed at one specific role.
So if I want to be a project manager, my resume needs to look like it was born to be a project manager.
Exactly. It's like ordering a pepperoni pizza and getting a box that just says food item.
Ah, right.
You might open it and find out it's pizza, but you're already annoyed.
That's a great way to think about it. But even before a human sees that headline, we've got killer number 5, the robot gatekeeper.
The infamous ATS.
The applicant tracking system. People talk about this like it's some evil AI that's out to get them. What is it actually doing?
At its core, it's just a big database with a search function. When you upload your resume, the software parses it, it rips the text out and tries to file it away. Then it scores your resume based on how relevant it is to the job description.
And relevance is based on what?
Keywords. This is where that generic resume just dies a silent death. If the job description is asking for agile methodology and stakeholder management, but your resume says fast-paced team coordination and client relations,
You might mean the same thing.
you might. But the robot doesn't get nuance. It's looking for exact matches. If those words aren't there, your score plummets. And if your score is too low, a human being never ever sees your file. You're invisible.
That seems so cynical. It's just a word matching game.
It's a filtering game. They get hundreds, sometimes thousands of applications. They can't read them all. So the fix is simple. Even if it feels a little cheap, you have to mirror the language.
So you're saying I should basically copy and paste keywords?
Within reason, yes. Read the job description, pull out the key skills and tools, and make sure those exact words are in your skills section and your recent job descriptions. Don't just stuff them in randomly. That can get you flagged.
Yeah.
But if they say Salesforce, you say Salesforce, not CRM.
Got it. Okay, so we've tricked the robot, we've used the right words, we finally land on a human's desk, but now we face killer number 6, poor structure and scannability. You mentioned the 5-second rule. Is that real?
It's alarmingly real. There are eye-tracking studies on recruiters, and they scan resumes in an F pattern. They look at the top, they scan down the left side, and maybe catch a few bolded words in the middle. They aren't reading. They're hunting.
So my beautiful 3-page resume with dense paragraphs explaining my philosophy on teamwork
It's already lost. That's what the source calls cognitive overload. A recruiter sees a wall of text, and their brain just goes, that looks like hard work, and they move on.
It's like opening a book with no paragraph breaks. You just want to close it.
That's it exactly. So the fix is to be ruthless. 2 pages, max. Use white space, use bullet points. And this is key. Use visual hierarchy.
Visual hierarchy, what does that mean?
It just means guiding their eye. Use bolding for your job titles. Make your biggest achievements pop. You want them to absorb your wins, even if they don't read a single full sentence. If your best result is buried in a paragraph, it basically doesn't exist.
Okay, so we've hacked the scan. The resume looks the part. Now they actually start to read. This takes us to the content crisis. And killer number 2 is one I see all the time. The weak professional summary.
Ugh. The objective statement. My biggest pet peeve.
Motivated self-starter seeking a position where I can learn and grow my skills.
Right. Think about that from the company's perspective. That sentence is all about what you want. You want to learn, you want to grow. The company isn't hiring you for your personal development. They're hiring you to solve a problem they have.
So telling them what I want is a total waste of that prime real estate at the top of the page.
The most valuable real estate. The fix is to flip the script. Stop talking about what you want and start summarizing the value you deliver. The source has a simple formula for this. Who are you? What do you do? And what's the scale of your impact?
Can you give us a before and after on that?
Sure. Here's the before. Marketing grad seeking entry-level role to gain experience in a fast-paced environment.
Okay. Generic, but fine.
Now, here's the after. Digital marketing specialist with 2 years of experience managing $10,000 monthly ad budgets and driving a 20% increase in lead generation for tech startups.
Wow. Okay, yeah. I know exactly who that person is and what they can do for me.
Exactly. You've given me a role, a specialization, a scale, and an impact. I don't think yes, you just told me you've already done the job.
Which leads right into the next content trap. Killer number 3, the responsibility trap. The battle between doing and achieving.
This one's tricky because it looks like you're doing the right thing. Your bullet points start with things like responsible for managing the team or handled customer inquiries.
I feel like most people write their resumes that way. You just list your duties.
Right, but that's a job description, not a resume. If you just list your duties, you sound exactly like every single other person who's ever had that job title. A terrible employee and a great employee can both be responsible for sales.
So responsible for is passive. It just means you were supposed to do it.
It just means you showed up. The fix is to turn your duties into accomplishments. You can use a simple formula. Verb plus number plus outcome.
So instead of responsible for sales, it's generated $50,000 in new revenue.
There you go. Don't tell me what you were supposed to do. Tell me what happened because you were there.
Okay, but that raises a huge objection. Killer number 4 is no numbers, no trust. What if I don't have numbers? What if I'm, say, an admin assistant or a teacher? I don't have revenue.
That's a super common fear, but the source argues everything is quantifiable. Numbers build trust. If you just say you improved efficiency, I kind of assume it was a tiny improvement. If you say you reduced processing time by 30%, now I believe you.
Okay, let's play that out. I'm an admin. I answer phones. I book meetings. Where are the numbers?
You look for proxies. Volume is a number. How many calls did you handle? Manage a busy calendar is vague. Coordinated scheduling for 5 executives across 3 time zones is concrete.
That does sound way more impressive.
It is. Time is a number. Did you get a report done faster? Frequency is a number. Did you organize a weekly meeting for 10 people? It's not always about money. It's about giving scale and scope.
It creates a trust anchor. I like that.
When I see a specific number, my brain just sort of accepts it as fact. Improved sales is fluff. Improved sales by 14.2% sounds real.
Love it. Okay, we've fixed the content. Now let's talk about the polish, the storytelling. Killer number 7 is the unclear career story.
This is all about risk. Recruiters are terrified of making a bad hire. If they look at your resume and see you jumping from sales to engineering and then back to HR, or they see big unexplained gaps,
They get nervous.
they think you're flaky or you don't know what you want.
And confusion leads to rejection. If I can't figure out your story in 10 seconds, I'm not going to invest the time to call you and ask. I'll just call the person whose path makes sense.
That's tough for people who have legitimate gaps, though. Maybe they took time off for family or a career pivot just didn't work out. It is tough. But the fix isn't to hide it. It's to control the narrative. The source calls this framing. If you have a winding career, you need a strong summary that connects the dots. Something like, former engineer turned sales professional using a technical background to close complex deals.
You make the weirdness a feature, not a bug.
Exactly. And for gaps, just label them. Career break for family care 2019-2020. Don't leave a blank space for their imagination to fill in.
Control the story or it controls you. Okay, my favorite. Killer number 8. Buzzwords without proof.
Oh yeah, get your corporate bingo card out. I'm a strategic, dynamic, results-oriented team player.
With excellent communication skills. I feel like I'm in a Dilbert comic. But wait, aren't those good things?
They are, but just saying them proves nothing. In fact, the source argues it actually hurts your credibility because it just sounds like you're filling space.
It's like a restaurant saying, we serve delicious food. Yeah, I would hope so. Show me.
Right. Show, don't tell. Instead of saying you're results-oriented, have a bullet point that says, increased quarterly sales by 15%.
Yeah.
I know you're results-oriented. You just proved it.
So cut the adjectives, focus on the verbs and the data.
Let your actions prove the labels quietly.
Okay. Killer number 10 is a bit more subtle. Wrong market level positioning. A mismatch between your title and your bullet points.
This happens all the time. Say you're applying for a director role, but your bullet points are all things like scheduled meetings or updated spreadsheets.
Those are junior level tasks.
Exactly. Even if you did them, listing them as your main achievements signals that you operate at a junior level. The recruiter thinks, this person isn't ready for strategy.
So you have to curate your experience. You have to edit for the job you want.
You have to dress for the job you want, but in bullet points. And it works the other way, too. If you apply for a hands-on role, but all your bullets are about high-level strategy, they'll worry you won't want to do the actual work.
Match the altitude. Got it. And that brings us to the last one. Killer number 9, the most preventable of them all. Presentation and errors.
This is the Brown M&M's test.
Okay, you have to explain the reference. Not everyone is a Van Halen fan.
Right. So the band Van Halen, they had this massive pages-long contract for their shows. And buried deep inside was a clause that said there had to be a bowl of M&Ms backstage with absolutely no brown ones.
Which just sounds like the ultimate rock star diva move.
It sounds like that. But it was a safety test. They had huge, complex stage setups. If the local promoter had led the contract closely enough to pick out the brown M&Ms, they probably hadn't read the technical safety specs either.
It was a proxy, a signal for attention to detail.
Exactly. And a typo on your resume is a brown M&M. Messy formatting, an unprofessional email address. Recruiters see those as signals.
They're thinking, if this person can't proofread the most important document of their career, how can I trust them with a client email?
That's the logic. You might be a genius, but if your resume is sloppy, you look sloppy. The fix is non-negotiable. 0 errors. Get a friend to read it. Read it backwards, whatever it takes.
And please get a professional email address. Skaterboy99 is not getting that job.
Please. It's the bare minimum.
So if we zoom out from all these 10 killers, is there one big theme that ties them all together? It feels like a lot to keep in your head.
There is. The theme is friction.
Friction.
A bad resume creates friction for the reader. It makes them work hard. They have to hunt for information. They have to guess what you mean. They have to wade through fluff.
And when you have a pile of 300 resumes, you don't want to work hard. You want it to be easy.
Exactly. A great resume removes all...
Which brings us back to that 90% number. The source argues that for a lot of those people, it's not a lack of talent. It's just poor signaling.
It's kind of tragic when you think about it. How many perfect candidates are getting filtered out because of a formatting error?
It is, and it raises a really interesting question for you to think about, and for hiring managers too.
Right. If the whole process is so heavily filtered by resume skills, your ability to format and use keywords rather than actual job skills, how much amazing talent is the market just completely ignoring?
It makes you wonder, are companies hiring the best employees? Or are they just hiring the people who are best at writing resumes?
It's a question worth chewing on. The system's probably flawed.
Yeah.
But until it changes, you have to learn the rules of the game to win.
Absolutely. Control what you can control. So take a look at your resume tonight. Give it that 5-second scan. Does it pass the test? Are there any brown M&Ms?
Hopefully not.
Thanks for diving deep with us today.
Good luck out there.
If you feel your resume or interview skills are underselling you, check the description. You'll find links to join my Sacred Life WhatsApp community and to connect with me on LinkedIn for resume rebranding and interview preparation. And please don't forget to share this video with your circle. You never know, you might be gifting someone a life-changing career moment. Do like, share, and comment for more. Thank you for your time.